Okay, so let's just talk a little bit more about layouts. The sidebar layout that we've been showing is for sure the easiest. And then there's a more general layout, of which the sidebar layout is created via it's a fluid page. It's a much more flexible style to use, and it's basically just accessing the Twitter Bootstrap styles. And you can go to this link right here and see a bunch of examples and just tinker with the examples. So for example, in your fluid page statement, you can have fluid row statements, can create rows, and then the column function creates columns, and you can just see in there how you can use R to create the layout. And you can have things like tab sets, nav list, and nav bars for more complicated apps, and they're relatively easy to create. If you want to directly use the HTML, for a really complicated layout, you want to do that. Plus, to be honest, if you know web development well, which I really don't, but if you really know web development well, then working with R to develop the layout is probably kind of annoying to you. So, if you're familiar with R and don't know web development very, very well, then this is probably perfect. But if you happen to know web development quite well, then probably this is excruciating. So just create a directory called www in the same directory with server.r. So the directory www exists in the same directory as server.r. Server.r does not exist inside the www directory. Okay, and then have an index.html page in that www directory. Okay, so the page layout is in this directory. The server exists at the same root directory that this www directory exists in. Okay, hopefully I've beat that to death. Okay, and then your named input variables will be passed to server.r. So if you have an input of some type, this is just a numeric text box number, name here equals n, so input $n can be used in your server.r reactive statements. And your server.r will have class definitions of the form shiny something. When you want to display reactive output in your HTML, you need, for example, to call, to say the class statement, and that's it. Then you can. The examples are up here at this link, and you could do it more thoroughly there. But I just want to make sure it's really very easy. If you know a little bit of web development, it's trivial. If you can get a Shiny app running and you know web development, then being able to do this should be no problem. So some debugging tools. Let's talk about debugging tools. Debugging Shiny apps is kind of annoying because it's sort of not a core part of R. It's sort of built on top of R, so it's a little. So I actually find this display mode equals showcase incredibly useful. And you can use the cat, which is just like the C function cat, the C programming language function cat, or anyway, it just displays text at standard out. So the R console in this case, usually, if you're running run app from the R console. And then the browser function will interrupt execution, and so you can call the browser function conditionally. And anyway, Shiny has a whole article on debugging Shiny apps, and these are easily the only three ones that I would ever use. Mostly I use the cat function to display the status of code inside the app. That's what I find more useful than anything else. And that's it. So hopefully you're up and running now with creating Shiny applications, and I'm confident what you'll find is that you can go from R code to a web product very, very quickly, which is what we want people to be able to do. And we're excited for people to start putting out their own web apps and see what they create.